Hey, my lovely people. So today I wanted to make this podcast about workplace discrimination, or what it's like to be a dark-skinned Black woman or person in a professional work environment. Let me just give you a little background. I have been working at least part-time since I was 16 years old. So for about 10 years now. I have worked at all sorts of companies, from companies that only employed 10 people to companies that employed 50 people to companies that have even had thousands of employees. And at every single job I have ever held in America in my entire life, I have been discriminated against for being a Black woman, a so-called Black woman. For example, I'm just going to tell you guys some stories about just the different things that I have experienced at work. At work. For example, I at one of my old jobs, one of my supervisors, every single day this woman would come up to me and ask me what's wrong, ask me why I have such a bad attitude. Some days I would have just clocked in, just put my stuff down, haven't made a sale, haven't walked around, haven't even done anything yet. And this woman is already in my face asking me, why do you have such a bad attitude? Why do you look so mad? She would always complain and tell me that I need to fix my attitude when I never had any negative reviews from coworkers. I never had anybody complain about me. I never had any customers call or ask to speak to my management to file a complaint against me. So I don't know where she was getting that I have such a bad negative attitude from, until I realized it's the stereotype, the angry Black woman. So anytime she saw me not smiling, she just assumed that I was angry, which was ridiculous. Ridiculous. Another place I worked at, I was the only Black employee in the company. And the management team made sure to tell me on one of my first days that they would be watching me because they know how my people get down. And I said, what, excuse me, what do you mean you know how my people get down? And they said every Black person they ever hired has stolen from them. So they were going to keep their eyes on me. Which to me, I'm not scared. That doesn't shake me up in any way because I'm not a thief. I've never stolen anything in my life, in my entire life. So I had no fear when it came to that. But they made sure to tell me that on my first day as kind of a warning that they know how my people are. What? I even had managers and coworkers ask me if they could call me Shanae or Shaquita, because Catherine isn't a Black name and Catherine isn't Black enough. So they need me to come up with a Black name that they could call me. I've had management ask me if I could teach them the new dance, if I could teach them the new song. I can't tell you how many, not even just management, how many coworkers, how many supervisors, how many people come up to me and will rap a song that's on the radio or will do a new dance and expect me to know it, expect me to do it with them. Like, why are you assuming that I even listen to that genre of music? Which anybody who knows me well knows that I don't listen to the radio. Most of the music that I listen to is at least 5 years old, if not older. I don't listen to new music. So for you to assume that I know every rap song just because it's on the radio and just because it's my culture is ridiculous. And I understand people making these assumptions in life, but at work, are you kidding me? I can't work, I can't make my money, and make an honest living without people discriminating against me and trying to relate to me as a Black person instead of just letting me do my job. It's crazy. Like, I remember working at this place and doing OT, working 6 days, working holidays, coming in early, alternating shifts, doing everything that they asked of me to make sure that I was seen as not only an asset, but that they knew how much of a hard worker I am, because I've always been a hard worker. Only for this same company to turn around and try to check my purse because they knew I was stealing from them. I did all of that just for them to accuse me of stealing because, hey, you guys steal, remember? That's what your people does. We have to check. What? Excuse me? It's ridiculous how some people will only see you as Black before anything else. Why can't you try to relate to me as a person before you try to relate to me as somebody Black? I can't tell you how many times I've had coworkers, I've had management, I've had people tell me, oh, your skin is too dark, or oh, your skin is ugly, or oh, when are you going to get your hair done again? Because it doesn't look good like that. I can't tell you how many people have tried to touch my hair when I'm wearing it in its natural state, because how does your hair do that? How does it go up instead of coming down? Oh, why don't you straighten your hair? Oh, why don't you get your hair braided? Oh, why don't you get a weave? Why don't you mind your damn business? That's my question. And let me worry about me and you worry about you. It's ridiculous. I've had coworkers make comments about how amazing it is that I can articulate myself, how crazy it is to see somebody like me be this smart and be this intelligent, because usually people they know that look like me don't act like this. I can't tell you how many people have asked, oh, how many kids do you have? How many baby daddies do you have? And I'm like, what? What do you mean? I don't have any kids or any baby daddies. And they'll say, oh, really? Because you know how you guys like that. You know how you guys like to have kids, outside of marriage, and you know how that's okay for you guys. Not knowing that not just me, but my parents were married before they had me, and their parents were married before they had them. So how are you speaking on my people when you don't even know my people? How are you assuming that I am someone's baby mama or I got a ton of kids running around just because of the color of my skin? I think the most heartbreaking thing was I had one of my beautiful Black queens, one of my coworkers, tell me that she didn't even know that we could wear our natural hair to work. And she had no idea that that was okay until she saw me wearing my hair in its natural state all the time. Like, do you know how sad it is to think that you can't wear your hair just how it grows out of your head to work because you may lose your job, or you may not get that job or get that promotion? It's heartbreaking. Like, it's disgusting how much people will see you as somebody Black before they see you as a person. How do y'all put us all in this same box? And even in the work environment, how am I still being discriminated against? The only issues you should have with me is if I'm not good at my job, which no job I've ever worked at can say that I wasn't good at my job. How are you assuming that I can teach you whatever dance comes out just because, hey, you guys like to dance, when not all Black people even like dancing? How are you assuming I know every rap song, every song that comes on the radio? And even if I did, I'm not here to entertain you. I don't need to rap for you. I don't need to dance for you. I don't need to twerk for you. I'm not your entertainment. If you see somebody else, especially at work, with a fly hairstyle. I'm talking, maybe she just dyed her hair a different color, maybe cut it, whatever. Would you ask her to touch her hair? No, right? So why, when you see black women or black men with their hair in its natural state, why do you want to touch it? Especially at work. Like, is there no professionalism? Is there no place where we can go and not be discriminated against because we're black? It's sad, and it's very unfortunate that I have never worked for a company where I have never been discriminated against. And it's sad. And most of these HR departments are a joke. They're not going to do anything. They don't even really see it as an issue. Did you know that a law just got passed, I believe last year, that prevents workplaces from discriminating against people and not hiring them because of a certain hairstyle? Why did that law even need to be passed? Why is it even a question of how I wear my hair to work? As long as it's not in the way of me doing my job, as long as I'm not bad at my job, why do you care about all this stuff? Like, it's sad how far people will go and how ignorant people are, that they think it's okay to do these things in a professional work environment. I would understand if we're just kicking it at the park, if we're just at a party. There's ignorant people everywhere, but at work, you still going to treat me like a quote unquote black person? Before anything, before you even treat me like an employee, you're treating me like a black person. And how is that okay? How is that okay? It's not. The answer is it's not. And America, y'all got to do better. Y'all really got to do better, because I know I'm not the only person that this has happened to. And unfortunately, I'm not the last person that this is going to happen to. So how about we all try a little harder to relate to one another as human beings before you try to relate to somebody because of the color of their skin? How about we try that? But that's all I pretty much have to say on the topic. I just wanted to share some of my personal stories with you guys so you could get insight as to how black people, black women especially, are treated at work. Because even though we may not say anything, even though we may not always address it, it happens. And it really needs to stop. Like, seriously. So, take care of yourself, you guys, and thank you for listening.